So, piracy it ain't ever going anywhere for the most part. Simple reason is some people just want entertaining stuff for free, which you can't really do anything to, mitigate that. I mean, obviously, you need to make money. People are gonna always watch free stuff, but that's not the only audience of people that is actually engaging in piracy. I mean, I'm making this video in the light of a recent incident, where Crunchyroll completely wiped a decent chunk of piracy sites clean off the face of the earth. This type of stuff just kind of happens every so often, regardless of medium. Piracy exists throughout all of entertainment, from games to movies to comics to even animation. I've already said that people want to watch stuff for free. That's not the only reason. Some media gets deleted. Like, for example, a few months ago, Warner Bros. Wiped a few of its old shows. Well, these old shows, people still want to watch them, and some of them are liked by people. And so, with that in mind, piracy and piracy sites serve as a home for these, for all intents and purposes, lost media. These piracy websites just hold them temporarily at best. Like, piracy is always coming and going, so it's not a stable home for these places. Most of what I'm about to say just boils down to corporate greed sucks, because these shows are deleted because hosting them costs a whole lot of money, and well, they're old enough that companies don't really think that it would be profitable to hold it. Decent chunk of media is just completely gone. For example, old black and white films that did not have sound, like about 80% of them are just completely gone. We will never see them again. But it's kind of a similar story with games and more modern media. This stuff just goes away, and piracy works as a temporary kind of place where it's held. I mean, it's not legal, so it just doesn't last. Let me make myself clear. I'm not supporting piracy. It's bad, I mean, obviously, but the other options aren't good. For example, some people go on piracy sites because some media just aren't available through legal means, and if they wish to watch it, they have to go do it illegally. For example, Full Metal Alchemist 2003, that stuff you can't find on any legal site because its copyrights are just floating and nobody is buying them, so nobody owns it. But it's in a weird, wacky spot where it is incredibly expensive to buy the physical discs to watch this media, so people just resort to piracy, like just streaming them on piracy sites, because you can't get this legally. And of course, I want to ask you a question. What do you think piracy sites as a whole, what is their business? What are they doing? Isn't, entertainment. They're not entertaining. I mean, obviously they make money off selling your data and stuff like that, but what they're providing the customer, I personally think what they're providing is customer service. Like, if you have ever gone on piracy sites, I know you have, those things are incredibly high quality, unexpectedly so. Like, some sites actually match the quality you would see on professional multi-million dollar streaming services type of quality, and that hides the fact that they are riddled with incredible amounts of malware and all of that. But we don't talk about the malware. But that, compared to normal streaming services where you have to go through, in some cases, several different streaming services to just watch one show. For example, the Pokemon anime, it's like divided into several different streaming services, and if you want to watch it, you have to be subscribed to all of them. Subscription, it is so greedy. Like, all of this is boiled down to, if you're less greedy, there's higher chance that you're gonna get more people. In the end, you're gonna get more money. Just for God's sake, be less greedy. These companies' own greed shafts them. I mean, maybe what I'm saying is like the minority view, and maybe At the back end, all of this is completely all above board. No problems, none of that. But if there was no problems, why the hell would Crunchyroll take down all the piracy sites? It's because that was hurting their bottom line. The main reason streaming services became so mainstream was cable TV. Cable TV sucks. If you have ever had the misfortune of watching cable TV, you know it was like half an hour of content and half an hour of ads, and you had no option but watching it. It sucked. And you were paying a whole lot of money to just waste half of your time. That's besides the point. Streaming services are supposed to be a replacement for cable TV and its bundle plans and all of that bullshit, but it isn't anymore. It was in the beginning, like for example, when Netflix was first launched, it had rights to most of all media that was coming out until other companies realized there was a lot of money to be made in this industry, and so started to pump out their own streaming services. Like there's streaming services for everything out there, I assure you. Like even it's a whole lot of streaming services. I mean, most of them may be a whole lot of trash, but hey, that's whatever. Who cares about that? I mean, problem mainly boils down to some people you just can't get to pay up, because some people just wanna watch entertainment for free, which is not what I'm talking about here, beyond the scope of this video. But the people who actually would pay aren't, because they have to pay so much that it isn't even worth paying all of it. And even if they're willing to pay all the monies, the stuff they're trying to watch may not even be available. And some of these companies just delete their own libraries, and when they do, all of this media is only available illegally. And so people who want to watch this media completely become reliant on illegal means, aka piracy. So it just doesn't help the consumer. These streaming services aren't consumer focused as piracy is. Your opinions of piracy are your own completely, but you can't deny that some piracy sites, the major ones, appear pretty high quality. And so, as they have all the shows you could ever wish to watch, why would you pay for it? It just becomes kind of irresponsible. I mean, it has its problems, obviously, but if you don't have a choice, what can you do? So yeah, it just boils down to these companies which are completely blindsided by doubloons. Like I swear to God, their eyes just are the dollar sign, like cartoonish. Who, fight against piracy are kind of just wasting their money at this point, honestly. Because piracy is kind of like a hydra heads. You take down one, a bajillion more just spawn. You can't really win. So it's basically only thing you can do is just kind of either leave it or hope to God that the people, pirate your stuff just like it enough to pay you. Or you could improve your service, but we all know that ain't gonna happen. It's just gonna get worse. So as that gets worse, so does piracy increase. You can't really do much against piracy because nobody wants to pay for a shitty service. That's all that I have to say. Like, these companies, streaming services, allegedly suck, are ass, are blindsided by greed, just truly god-forsaken. But yeah, that's all I have to say. It sucks, just sucks. Bye.